on small business development, entrepreneurship, and hopefully help you to have the tools to become successful. And we are so pleased to have you joining us again this morning. Um, this has really been a special event. This has been our seventh annual small business workshop, which is in fact presented by Fifth Third Bank. And this is also our second year offering this workshop virtually as well. And this event is free. The event is free because we have some great sponsors who've been with us basically from day one. And without their support, we would not be able to offer you this workshop. And before I acknowledge the sponsors and partners, I have to say that this year is a record year. This year is a record year. We've had over 400 total engagements. I'm blown away by the level of support, over 200 registrations. It's been absolutely incredible. So again, this event is free, and I'd like to recognize our many sponsors. For example, we have Fifth Third Bank as our presenting sponsor, corporate sponsors including the Detroit Development Fund, Comcast Business, who will be conducting a prize giveaway. You have a chance of winning a smart television today. You have a chance of winning a smart television. They will be giving away later in the program. And also Build Institute, who is sponsoring the breakout session that will be led shortly by Ms. Regina Ann Campbell, who's President and CEO of Build Institute. We also have many partners who have been engaged with us as well, and specifically the Michigan Women Forward, State Farm agent Cindy Fletcher, Tanner Friedman, and a great media partner, amongst others, with WTVS, Detroit Public Television. So as we continue, what I like to do is feel free. We like to share this with as many people as possible. You can see at the bottom of the screen, Small Business Workshop, the hashtag. Please use social media to spread out whatever you may hear, hashtag Small Business Workshop. And my Twitter handle is Lee Group. That's at Lee Group. Feel free to tweet out, and we'll make sure that we retweet your comments. We want as many people out there as possible to see this event and get information as well. At this point in time, I'd like to welcome our presenting sponsor, Fifth Third Bank, to make a few comments. And I'm very pleased to welcome Mr. Mark Baker, who's the business marketing bank. He's the business banking marketing executive for Fifth Third Bank, to say a few words on behalf of the bank. Mark, thanks for joining us, and we appreciate your support.
Thank you, Mark, and good morning, everyone. This year's workshop series has been great, and I am looking forward to a fantastic conclusion with great speakers and content today. Our team at Fifth Third Bank truly values our ability to engage with and improve our communities. We view ourselves as an integral part of the fabric that we all weave together, and we are committed to helping strengthen and grow our community. Whether it is investing in local partners to deliver key services, helping businesses grow and thrive, or working directly with individuals on their own financial independence, Fifth Third and its team members put both their money and their time into enhancing our community. There is a reason Fifth Third has sponsored this workshop series for all 7 years, and that can be summed up in 2 words: quality and impact. The first word, quality. Mark and his team have consistently delivered the highest quality in speakers and content, and each year has built upon and improved from the last. Whether in person or virtual, this workshop has delivered timely and important topics to this audience. The second word is impact. It is great to gather and discuss the relevant topics, but what is even more important is the ability to take that information and those resources and use them to tangibly impact our lives and improve our outcomes. I think that is the defining characteristic that sets this workshop apart, and impact is truly what Fifth Third strives to achieve for those people we touch. I can say that I have sincerely appreciated working with Mark on this workshop series, and I am excited for this last session. Lastly, I want to thank everyone who is attending today. You are our focus and motivation for delivering these sessions, and we are committed to helping each of you achieve your dreams and goals. With that, I'll turn it back to Mark Lee.
Mark Baker, again, thank you very much. And I really mean this when I say I appreciate their partnership. They have been with us since day one. And I appreciate those kind words. You can't have a successful workshop without great partners and other sponsors as well that we've been working with together over the last several years. And at this point, I'd like to welcome one of our corporate sponsors, the Detroit Development Fund, who also been with me since day one, and the lead group with since day one, to share information on financing opportunities and loan readiness. And in fact, I'd like to welcome Miss Deborah Jones, and she serves as the Chief of Operations of the Development Fund and Director of a subsidiary and a microloan fund, the Detroit Community Loan Fund Biz Loan. And she's responsible for overseeing DDF's operations while designing, implementing business strategies, plans, policies, and procedures. Deborah Jones, thanks for joining us this morning, and thank you to the Detroit Development Fund.
Thank you so much, Mark, and certainly to the lead group. I appreciate this opportunity and to be able to speak to this wonderful group of entrepreneurs and to the panel. Good morning, everyone. Words cannot express how thrilled I am to be with you today to give you a brief snapshot about getting a small business loan and being prepared for the journey. I could hardly sleep last night. I was too excited to be with you. Anyone who knows me know that I'm very passionate about entrepreneurship. I feel that it is a calling and a destiny to help to see entrepreneurs and businesses succeed. So getting into a message today, without question, due to the pandemic, our market has changed in the way that we do business, and it's continuing to change. And we as entrepreneurs, or those of us who are providing financing for small businesses, must focus in on that change to assist in the growth and in the sustainability of our small business market through providing this access to capital. And that's what we do here at the Detroit Development Fund as a nonprofit CDFI, providing loans as small as $5,000 up to $250,000. But today, I want to focus on you. I want to focus on you as an entrepreneur because yes, you, my phenomenal world-changing entrepreneur, is who and what this is all about. So the question is, how do you, in the midst of all that's happened, make this dream come true or come to pass or come to life or reemerge from a pandemic that has left a void? How do you fund this business and how do you prepare for the journey? So today, I want to take a few moments to speak to you and give you what I call a few power insights to guide you through resurrecting your business dreams and having a successful process with your lender in obtaining this financing. And I guarantee you one thing, I am not going to talk to you about the 5 C's of credit because they do not apply here. First of all, again, let me talk to you about you, my successful entrepreneur. And I'm calling you that on purpose because that's who you are and that's why you're in business, is to be successful. You need to awaken to and resurrect your hope from this past year and the first part of this year, recognizing the fact that you have a purpose, you have a destiny to fulfill, and that purpose and that destiny, guess what? It did not change its mind. It's still there and it's waiting on you to fulfill it. And if you are listening to me right now, look at where you've come from. You have weathered the storm, and many of you have just about doggone walked on water to get where you are now. So now is not the time to back up or to slack up. It's time for you to resurrect your hope. Make the decision to stand and stand therefore and get moving to the other side, because on that other side, there is someone waiting for you. So the question is, how do I resurrect my hope in a climate that has changed in the business market? Well, you have to get your vision back. You have to get your vision back and you have to eliminate fear, because fear is a destiny robber. So you need to deal with it. And that begins with getting your vision back of who you are and the business that you are called to fulfill. There is a saying that was written over about 6,000 years ago that says, write the vision that you may run that readeth it. That is a vision for your life, for your business, and it's a roadmap on how you get there. And in this business world, we call that, guess what? A business plan. So in that, You have to eliminate the distractions that would keep you away from taking care of your business. Eliminate the distractions, and you want to remain focused. Keep your eyes on the prize. Eliminate anything and anyone that takes you away from that focus, because right now is not a time to be distracted. It's a time to be focused on your vision, on your business, who you are, and what you have been called to do. So now that we've got that straight, the question is, what do I do when I meet with my lender or someone who's going to invest in my business? Well, one of the first things you want to do is you want to build trust. Those of us, and especially here at DDF, and all of us in the CDFI community, we are lenders with passion. We are passionate about making an impact in the small business community. And guess what? We want to see you succeed. And knowing that going in, you know then that the questions and the information that we ask for is not about us being nosy. This information is standard, and it helps us to help you. So what do we look for? If you own a business, and I'm going to be very straight up with you. If you own a business, then do just that. Own it. As a lender, we want to know who you are, what you do, and why you do it, and how you plan to make a profit in doing it. That's it. I could cut off and say, look, it's ended, because that's what we are looking for. Who you are, what you do, why you do it, and how you plan to make money and make a profit. Not just money, but a profit doing it. So who are you? Your name, your background, your skill sets. Know who you are and be real about it. Know your strengths. And also, not only know your strengths, but know your weaknesses, know your barriers. Understand what barriers are maybe in place that will prevent you from being successful. Because if those barriers are not dealt with, they will come to bite you. And then when it comes, it's like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? Barriers are not bad. They are there to awaken you to possibilities of what may attempt to stop you. And what you need to do is be aware of that and have a plan. Okay, then we talk about what you do. What type of business are you in? Is it retail? Is it service? Have you done your homework? And then why you do it? What is it about this that wakes you up in the morning and makes you say, I can't wait to get started doing it? Because if you don't have that kind of passion, the minute that you run into some issues, you're going to be ready to give up. And that's not acceptable. Every entrepreneur has faced some sort of a challenge or barrier, but entrepreneurship is not something that is taught, it's something that's caught. And it's something that is for those that know how to endure. And that's what we are here for, is to help you to endure. So the last thing that we want to know in that particular perspective is, how do you plan to make money from it? And not just money, but be profitable where you can pay the bills for your business, grow, and be able to pay yourself. The next thing we want to know is the loan amount. How much money do you need? Why do you need it? And what are you going to use it for? How do you expect to sell your product, get paid, and be able to pay back the loan and your other debts? It's just that simple. It's not that difficult. And we're going to get all of that information from, guess what? Talking to you about your vision and reading your vision about your plan. And so let me take a couple of seconds to talk about that plan, because I have a few simple rules. Again, know that the business plan is more than for the lender. This business plan is for you. It's your roadmap. So when you go to the lender, one of the key things is you want to keep it short. Because first of all, we are not, and I'm here to tell you, we are not going to read a 200-page business plan unless you have a whole lot of pictures. We want to get to that bottom line that we just talked about a few moments ago, as to who you are, what you do, why you do it, and how you plan to make money doing it. And then second, you want to know your audience. Write your plan using the language that your audience will understand. For example, I'm not a high IT person, so you can't use high IT language. You have to make it simple so that I can understand the process. But the bottom line, whether it's a banker, whether it's a CDFI, be it a private angel investor, or be it your mother, you want to be able to talk to your audience in the respect that they understand who you are, what you do, why you're doing it, why you need this money, and how you plan to make the money. And then the next is be real with your numbers. Don't fabricate nor exaggerate your expectations on how much money you're going to make. Do your homework and understand your industry. That is so key. I cannot emphasize that enough, because so many people want to say, yes, in week 2 of me opening up my business, I am going to make $2 million. And then us as lenders are like, yeah, right. Okay, let's talk some more about this. So you want to do your homework. You want to make sure that you're being reasonable in your expectation. And then let me tell you this, don't be intimidated. Do not be intimidated when you're meeting with the lender. Again, we're here to help you. We want to see you succeed. So again, fight the fear. Think out of the box. Own who you are and what you do. You know your business, and don't be afraid to talk about it. Brag about it and brag about yourself. This is the time to do it. Therefore, my successful entrepreneurs, I want to remind you, awaken to your gifts, awaken to your talents that will be expressed through your business. Resurrect your hope. Resurrect that fact that you have a purpose and that you have a destiny to fulfill. And that purpose and that destiny did not change his mind. Again, it's still there and is waiting on you to fulfill it. And those of us who are lenders, we are here ready to partner with you collaboratively to see you succeed. And that's why we're here, and that's why we want to see you. Thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate this time in being with you.
Deborah Jones, thank you so much. I don't want you to mute yourself just yet, and pull your camera back up for a quick second, if you don't mind. I have to say, I want you to hear the passion in her voice, and how she communicated and what she communicated to you. And that's what this is about. And Deborah, before, I want to ask you one question before we segue into our next conversation. As businesses have gone through this pandemic, and we're starting to reemerge from the abyss, which left out on that title this year. What are some of the challenges, briefly, that you're seeing as businesses are looking to get to the next level? Economic recovery is starting to happen, but what challenges are you still seeing with small businesses as we begin to think about reemerging from the abyss?
A couple of the challenges that I see, number one is, and I addressed that, and that was fear. A lot of people just don't want to move forward. They're afraid that they're going to fail, or they don't know what to do. And that's why the lead group, DDF, and all of the partners that are working together are so important, as that is, number one, to eliminate that fear. Number two, how do they obtain, again, the financing to be able to service whatever growth or thinking out of the box, whatever redevelopment that they need to do within their business. And so that's where we then meet with them to talk through that process. And we want them to be open to that process, because a lot of times they don't want to talk about it. They just want it to happen and then wake up and say, oh, it's already done. But talking through that is so key and is so important. Their operations, for an example, we know that the restaurant industry has had to close, but guess what? There was an opportunity there where, even though they were closed, they thought out of the box in delivery and how to make those deliveries. We've had businesses that didn't know how to sustain maybe their workforce. So maybe during that time, they didn't need all of the workforce that was there. And this helped them to recognize, oh, wait a minute, I can operate a little bit leaner, a little bit cleaner, and a little bit more profitable. So again, so often we're looking at the glass half empty as opposed to looking at the glass half full. But another particular area that I see too is their ability to understand where they are financially. They may know how to make widgets, they may know how to provide a service, but they don't understand the full, access of what it means to operate this business 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or 5 days a week. And so with that, helping them to understand their capacity, helping them to understand the operational capacity to be able to grow and to move forward is another particular area. And then number 3 is probably their marketing. A lot of them are challenged with how do they move forward now with their marketing. Social media, people are working from home. How do they get the word out there for those who have stopped their brick and mortar? So that's where the Lead Group and DDF and all of us work together again as a team to see this business succeed.
Deborah Jones, thank you very much. And we'd like to drop your information, the website, if we could, for DDF in the chat room. And if you missed any part of our conversation, this session is being recorded. You can view it on Detroit Public Television's website as well later this afternoon. But we're going to make sure we drop her information in the chat room so that you can contact her directly. Contact her directly and or go to the website as well. So that information will be posted in the chat room. Deborah Jones, again, thank you very much. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you. All right, so what we're going to do is to segue. We're going to hone in really on entrepreneurship. I mean, that's what the session is about, but we're going to talk to now specifically entrepreneurs. And if you have any questions, we want you to drop your questions in the Q&A. You see the Q&A on your screen, just drop your questions in the Q&A and we'll try to address as many questions as possible. And again, I want to restate this session is in fact being recorded. It is being recorded. It will be available later at Detroit Public Television's social media platforms and also at the Lead Group's on the Lead Group's website as well. All right, so want to make a note of that. All right, so what we're going to do is this next segment is sponsored by our good friends from Build Institute. We've heard Deborah Jones talk about a collaboration, and a collaboration is people coming together, working together with common interests and common goals. And so Regina Ann Campbell is the president and CEO of Build Institute, a nonprofit idea incubator for the Detroit region. And before joining Build Institute, she was the chief program officer for Epicenter Memphis, where she was responsible for national strategic partnerships and a portfolio of programs, initiatives, and systems that ensure inclusive access and vibrancy of the entrepreneurial community in greater Memphis. Now, she is from Detroit and she came back home. December/January of this year. So what she's going to do is to lead a discussion. She's going to introduce a very special guest, and they're going to have a one-on-one conversation. Focused on the retail sector. So Regina Ann Campbell, thank you for joining us, and we appreciate the support of Build Institute. Take it away.
Thank you for having us, Mark Essley. I do have to say that I am truly inspired, as I'm sure all the listeners are, by Deborah Jones and Mark Baker. I had actually wrote the word passion and circled that. And so today, even though it's the final session of the Small Business Workshop series, it is definitely not the least in many ways. And so I'm going to start one with a conversation about Build, to introduce folks to Build Institute, because a number of the resources that Deborah spoke to and Mark Baker are what we do on behalf of our small business entrepreneurs by way of education. And so I'd like to start first with a video. Visuals always do a great way to show the history of Build and who we are. So Sharon, if you could cue that up.
Build Institute is so important in helping small businesses grow within the city, because those are the residents and the identity of what the city truly is.
We're not just starting businesses, we're growing jobs and impacting the community from the inside out.
We've grown up alongside our entrepreneurs from their startup phase. We were just a startup organization, and it was time for us to have a location that assists our entrepreneurs in their growth as well. Build Institute's new location is located at the corner of Michigan and Trumbull in the historic neighborhood of Corktown.
For the Build Institute to grow their space, right there at that intersection. And there's just so much activity already. I can only imagine how the Build Institute will be able to plug into that.
Our new space here at the corner offers a variety of different things to assist entrepreneurs as well as the community. From event space to co-working to our pop-up retail space, it really becomes a hub for the community to come together in.
It's about fostering that idea and turning it into something real.
It doesn't matter if it's brick and mortar, maybe it's an online business. Everyone is welcome, no matter the idea, to at least get the foundations they need to take it to the next step.
Our pop-up retail space is around 300 square feet, and it's a great location for our entrepreneurs to test their idea. It allows them to go from tabling and being vendors at markets to then step right before they go into a storefront.
Build does not just happen in the classroom. Their willingness to assist people after they graduate is monumental.
We really want to make sure it's possible that our Build grads were a part of this process throughout. And really having their own style, design is very important that they were showcased here in our space. We really want to make sure that everyone here feels welcome, they feel they have a place here, they feel that they can open their businesses here.
As Build grows, Detroit grows. As Detroit grows, Build grows.
Thank you, Sharon, for that. We will go into our presentation next. I just wanted to start with a visual. Visuals are powerful. They also have a number of stories from which you were able to hear and to see the entrepreneurs that we serve. And there's no better celebration and word or feedback from those entrepreneurs we serve. And so Build Institute has been around since 2012, launched by founder April Jones Boyle. She was an entrepreneur herself, hired entrepreneurs, and continued to help it grow with entrepreneurial education. So forward to the next slide. So we always like to say what we do at our core is help entrepreneurs learn, earn, and return. And this slide is special to us because Build is the place where you will experience diversity of products and services, but also of entrepreneurs across a variety of industries, across a variety of ethnicities. And we're very proud to say that the majority of the entrepreneurs we serve are women, and we're in a majority minority city, and most of the entrepreneurs we serve are Black. And so if we could forward to the next slide, which is the important part of who we are and what we do. You saw in the video, since 2019, we actually have a space which helps our entrepreneurs be able to come in and not only take classes, but also to do proof of concept, which we're known for. We actually have a marketplace in which entrepreneurs are able to sell their product, begin to test out their pricing strategy, and about customer validation. And so we welcome you all to, when we open back up, to come out and work from the space, but to also use the space for any events. The next slide, please. This is the who and heart of who we are, our entrepreneurial education. The one thing about Build Institute is we are known for national standard education. If you think about the Institute and universities, we provide the best entrepreneurial education that will help you be able to launch your business. And actually talking about business plan, which Deborah mentioned earlier, we actually have business owners who walk out with a business plan where they're able to go and access capital from CDFIs and from banks. And so that is one of our core areas, the entrepreneurial education. And so we have everything from early stage classes of Build Basics all the way to ones who are master classes for existing businesses who might need to take a step out of their business, pivot, and make some strategic decisions, the path forward. And then another book is what we call Launch. That's another bucket which we talked about pop-up and proof of concept through Build Bazaars and other marketplaces. And then finally, what's been already mentioned is capital. We know that capital for entrepreneurs sometimes is the most critical point to get you to that next step. Entrepreneur education can get you so far. Talking with coaches and mentors can get you so far. But capital is an actual need. And so we have the Kiva Fund and Build Institute. So a fun fact, we were the first Kiva Hub launched in the United States. And we support businesses with small microloans as well. And so ultimately, I'd like to sum up and say that Build Institute is here to help entrepreneurs who have an idea, all the way to those who are existing businesses, micro businesses who have 0 to 40 employees, less than $100,000 revenue across industry. We're here to help you launch, grow, and scale. So up next, thank you, Sharon, for that presentation. Just real quickly, some highlights about our snapshots. We have over 2,030 alumni and have invested in about 52 loans over the years for a number of businesses. So that being said, our information will also share in the chat on the next slide of where we can be reached at buildinstitute.org. You can also send us an email to hello@buildinstitute. Now we're going to segue to one of my favorite parts, which is actually talking with an entrepreneur, hearing from an entrepreneur who has had the experience of pivoting and really creating her business to scale exceptionally. Welcome, Jennifer Crawford. Jennifer has been in business since 2012. And her background is quite interesting in that she was in construction management. So not only is she a native Detroiter, went to Detroit Public High School. I went to Cooley, and I know she went to Detroit Public High School as well. She also lived in Florida. And so I want you to be able to hear her story, how she went from construction, came back to Detroit, launched a business, which started as an event business. And then she ended up pivoting into several marketplaces, also doing shipping and fulfillment. So at Build Institute, we are partners in supporting entrepreneurs that we work with to sell their local products in Jennifer's marketplaces, as well as she is our social media and content manager. So Build believes in hiring and supporting local entrepreneurs. But before I get into asking what I think are tough questions, Jennifer, that I know you'll appreciate answering, I did want to say that your heart and your passion has not only yielded opportunities for you. I know there were one year you made over $200,000, and then your work with other entrepreneurs through the marketplace has helped several businesses, and I believe the amount of money earned for businesses equated to $1 million in the past 9 years. And so what you do as a business has really helped our local entrepreneurs. And we know that you cannot outsource local businesses. And so that being said, along with you being in the, Cranes 40 under 40 and a variety of other things that you're noted for, you are a native Detroiter. You started with $1,500 in your pocket to start your business, and one thing led to another. So if you could share with the audience your why. What was that sort of defining moment when you pivoted from construction to starting a business? What did that look like? Tell us your why.
In my why, you made me sound so important with all those great things. My why is, in school, right? It starts, at an early age. I was the underdog, right? I always felt like I did not have a talent. And so I was working in the construction industry, and I was working for a company where I was miserable. I was not happy. I knew a lot of people who had their own businesses that were like making earrings and doing jewelry. And these are things that they did that they were so passionate about it. But I could not find something that I was passionate about because I didn't really feel like I had a talent. I felt like my talent was like talking too much in a sense. And so I'm working my job. I'm miserable. And the only thing I did was make everybody around me miserable because I'm complaining about my job. I'm complaining about being here, and I'm doing this complaining. And so I started hosting like a small event in my 1-bedroom apartment for my friends who made earrings and did nails, and I called it Pamper, Pick, and Purchase. And so as it continued to grow, this event in my 1-bedroom apartment, I'm like, okay, people are really interested in this. And so that kind of was the start to like, okay, my why. I'm like, my friend here, she doesn't have any resources. She doesn't know about this. And so at that point, it's kind of when I was like, you know what, I'm kind of onto something here. What if I could be that resource? What if I could be that person for people who, want to have a passion for doing what they love, but they don't really know how to do it? And at first, for me, I was just kind of like, oh, I don't really know if I can do this because I'm not a maker. I don't make anything. But one thing about me is that I pay attention. I love people. And so my burning desire to kind of help others was my why I wanted to do it, to help others, because I'm like, so I love to see the talent. I love to see people make things. So my why is just comes from like my love of people, my love of wanting to see people succeed, and, seeing like those visions and their dreams and things come through from their talents when I don't really have a talent in a sense of like making things.
So that's awesome. I appreciate you sharing your why. Tell us about your business, right? So I know about your business and what you do, but share with the audience your business.
So the name of my company is Ask Jennifer, and so I create platforms for small business. What started with All Things Detroit, which is a small business showcase that I started to host twice a year at the Eastern Market with 250 small businesses and 14,000 customers. I was like, you know what I need to do is create more opportunities. So what is it that small businesses need? So with Ask Jennifer, we do branding, we do marketing, we different forms of marketing. And so we really wanted to just come up with different platforms and services that businesses need. So that stemmed from Ask Jennifer, All Things Detroit, which is, a large scale event where we're putting businesses in front of thousands of customers. And then also we were using another service for our tickets that was at a higher cost. So we said, hey, businesses need that also. So then we started All Things Ticketing, which is a ticketing site for small businesses. Then there's our All Things Directory. And then we have All Things Marketplace, which started as I wanted to take what I do offline, online, and just create kind of my own social networking and online platform for small businesses. So Ask Jennifer is dedicated to creating platforms for small businesses, doing consulting and really just trying to figure out those core things that businesses need. And that's why we partner with different organizations like Build and Tech Town, so that we make sure that we can, if there's something that we can't provide, we have those collaborations and partnerships that we can get the small business everything that they need to, jumpstart their business, stay in business, and kind of give them that push. And also, be the motivator. I say I'm the motivator for businesses. I want them to feel like Ask Jennifer is like the cheerleader, like everybody wants that person to motivate them and push them and let them know that they can. And I feel like our business, that we do that.
So what I love about your business and what I love about you is you have shared your pitfalls and challenges with entrepreneurs who are willing to listen, so that they don't go through those pitfalls. And I'd love if you could share with us, particularly during this COVID season, when you've seen things around retail. I mean, literally, you were, the entrepreneur that had the places that entrepreneurs could sell their retail products. And I'd love for you to share some sort of aha moments or 3 pitfalls that you experienced that you could, sort of a cautionary tale for other entrepreneurs who are in retail. So if you could, like 3 of them, I know you experienced a number of things, but what are 3 things that you would say avoid or work through?
I think that what we have to do is we have to stop. A business should actually not think about, I can't do that or I don't do that. That was one of the things, like I used to say, I didn't want a store, right? And so you cannot say in business, I'm not going to do that. That's not me. I'm not going to do that. I don't need that. You have to be able to think outside the box, which is super important. As Deborah said, think outside the box. And you really have to think about, what is it that you want from your business? Do you want to end this business? And the thing for me with COVID, I thought my business was over. Here I am hosting large scale events, and now the world is shut down and events are considered illegal, right? We can't have 14,000 people in a space. So for me, the aha moment was I had to, after I sat for a minute and felt like so sorry for myself, like, Lord, what am I going to do? I reached out to some of these businesses that I work with to say, what is it that you need from me? And a lot of them were not saying like, we don't need anything. They were like, we need someone to help ship packages for us. We need someone to help us. And so in a sense, it just started by me saying, let me ship packages for you just to kind of help you out, because I know that that's a service that you need. And my aha moment in that pivot is, aha, this is a service. This is a service that small businesses need, shipping and fulfillment. Of course, there's Amazon. Of course, it's this billion-dollar machine, but All Things Marketplace, which is the online platform, we already have the platform. We just had to put all of these different, we have to reshift, we had to rethink, we had to pivot, we had to think outside the box. And so this is for a small business, by a small business, because we want them to understand that shipping and fulfillment is a service that we offer. So my aha moment was, I'm coming up with something new, thinking outside the box. I'm not reinventing the wheel, because this is for a small business, by a small business, and we're sharing stories of the business. We're not just doing shipping and fulfillment. And so I really thought, you know what, I'm onto something here. And I tell small businesses, never limit yourself, never feel like you are only stuck in this one thing. And it's taught me also too, with the pandemic, to, you have to have different streams. In a sense, I thought that I did have that, but they were all based around one thing. And so never just completely put all your eggs in one basket. In a sense, we have to stay ready. So never put all your eggs in one basket, stay ready, and, just really kind of keep pushing forward. You just have to do that. And you have to reinvent yourself and try to be innovative. And if that's something that you have a difficult time doing, sometimes it helps to just kind of shut down and listen. And if you shut down and listen and not do the social media and all the distractions around you, it'll come to you and you can actually figure it out and push through.
Thank you for sharing those aha moments and, pushing through, as you said, Jennifer and Deborah, like thinking outside the box, moving forward. It's that story of, self-resiliency, right? And the one thing that we understand at Build is that entrepreneurs, and I'm an entrepreneur as well, is that we're more than the business itself. We're human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm happy that at Build we'll continue what April Boyle did, which was providing entrepreneurial education that helps our entrepreneurs with health and wellness, pushing through around resiliency and sort of taking a look at themselves from the inside out, and being able to move forward in that way. It is critical and it is key, as you see it, to take a moment, turn off the social media and the put some positive self-talk about what do you want to do next and what's possible. The one thing COVID has taught me, and it's taught me several things, is that what was sort of the old rules or the box, it no longer matters. It totally flipped the script on what was considered normal. And as one and as a leader who is, and I am an idea person, I've always pushed against the sort of status quo. And I believe that all things are possible if you are willing to do the work. What excites me about entrepreneurship, as Deborah said, just always excited about it. I was drawn to it at 16 years old, is the fact that people are pushing through to bring those ideas into the marketplace in ways that you can only do it. And that's a beautiful thing to support. So I would love if you could, from a retail perspective and your experiences, talk about how you capitalize your business. We know that particularly, in Black and Brown communities, sometimes people are nervous about taking on debt, right? People are always, looking for grant opportunities. And yes, there are some grant opportunities, but to have a business, you have to have a customer in which you're selling something. And it gets to the point where you need revenue, you need cash. And so can you talk a little bit about some of the things that you did to, aside from you starting with your $1,500, but what ways were you able to, obtain cash for, workflow and things like that, cash and whatnot?
Well, if I'm being completely honest, I learned about cash late on in my business, several years, I would say just within the last few years, because what I did was everything that I made, I went and invested it back into myself. self-taught, but I had to do more research on working capital, getting with programs and taking classes with Build, the SWAT City. And then also I'm working with Chase Bank on the Path Forward program, which will help me get capital. Everything that I made, I would put back into the business. I kept investing in myself. So All Things Detroit and all of these things that I built, I actually did them with no loans and no working capital that I actually got from anyone. I am just really now, after these years in business, and I don't recommend this for people to do it this way. This was just something that I learned later on. And it's just one of those things where it's like, when you are an entrepreneur, you can never be above learning, right? And keep learning. You have to keep doing that. And so now for me, everything that I've made and everything, I just put it right back into the business. So that's where my cash flow came from. I was able to make money and put it back in. But now I'm working with Chase and some other organizations on that working capital and getting my business, all set. So it's all about building those relationships and getting into those programs to kind of learn about capital. You can't do it all yourself. So for me, like I say, I tell people, I don't know everything. I'm learning too. But from my experience, like I've been able to produce this with just building my business. But over the last year or so, now 2 years, I've actually gotten into different programs to help me with capital.
That's great and awesome. And I know you were a Comcast Rise winner as well. So congratulations to you on that.
Thank you.
And as you share your story, and I know we're getting close to wrapping up our conversation. I'd love for you to be able to share with the audience how they can reach you to sell their products in your marketplace, how they can reach you to do shipping and fulfillment. And I know that's such a value add for small businesses who need to get their product to their product to customers. We know that COVID, when you talk about supply chain and logistics, it's definitely impacted small businesses who don't have an e-commerce platform or other ways to formally get the product to customer. And so you really sit in a place that has created a unique service for our entrepreneurs. And we love partnering with you to make sure that our Build grads and other local entrepreneurs are getting their products to customers, because again, that creates revenue for their businesses.
Yes. Well, you can reach me. You can always go to allthingsmarketplace.com. We have all of the details on our website as to how you can sign up. We have a shipping and fulfillment that we do in the service. And then you could also have your products in store here at the Build Institute, where All Things Marketplace is located. We are open to having all entrepreneurs in the space. If you want to, you can actually come by and see me. I'm here Wednesday through Saturday. Or you can email us to make an appointment, and that's allthingsmarketplace.com. We do shipping and fulfillment. You will have your own website on the marketplace. Everyone has their own individual store. We want the small businesses to have a presence, because for me, it's important that people don't just know about All Things Marketplace. They know about you as the person, the business, and you can share your story, because it's the person behind the business that actually sells the product, not Jennifer, not All Things Marketplace. So that aspect is important. And so all of our platforms are available on askjennifer.com, but we're really, pushing forward with the shipping and fulfillment. We're shipping a lot of packages weekly. We have about, I would say, 40 to 45 businesses that we are shipping for right now. It's a great service with a low cost to the business. And we are really working on a lot of promo and promotion to get all of the businesses out there and not just promote the shipping and fulfillment, but also the businesses overall. We have our summer markets coming up, which is a great way we're going to be promoting our shipping and fulfillment. And we have 3 markets downtown this summer. So we're looking forward to showcasing those businesses at the markets as well, and also here in the marketplace, and getting those packages out for everyone so they don't have to have that stress and worry. And if you have your own website, it's not an issue. You can still ship your packages with All Things Marketplace and have a presence on there. You can never have your products on too many websites.
That's a very good point. And so I would like us to also kind of share some highlights in particular to not only encouraging people to take that first step and not being afraid to say you don't know. I know in our conversation with Mark S. Lee in the conference room on Sunday, he talked a lot about and asked the questions about this thing called relationships, the value of relationships, the necessity of, sort of that bench of experts, the accountant, the attorney, for all of our businesses, because I'm not an attorney, I'm not an accountant. And so it's important for people to build relationships so that they can get connected to the right resource and ask for help. What areas or expertise would you say from your experience are a definite need for any business starting out?
I definitely think that marketing is super important. It's very, having the right marketing is so important. A lot of people have been in business for a really long time, and marketing has changed. It's no longer door to door. It's more so everything is online, everything is social media. So if you don't really know about the online social media, it's changing every single day. There's algorithms, it's this, it's that. So I feel like marketing is super important and a resource that you can outsource or get with someone for that. If you don't know how to do any type of branding yourself, like the branding is super important. That's also another key thing. And I feel like getting with someone for your branding. So branding, marketing, but also one thing too, Regina, I feel that all of these things mean nothing if you are not consistent. Consistency is key. And so if you're afraid, taking that pause, maybe a very long pause, but you just have to be consistent. I feel like reaching out and building relationships with, programs like the Build Institute and Tech Town and Prosper Us. There's a lot out here. So you have to do your research, and going through a program like Build that actually guides you through your business plan, that guides you through, all these different obstacles, shows you how to do your pitch. All of those things are important when you're building your business. So you really have to build relationships and get in a group, your peers of entrepreneurs who are trying to kind of, in a sense, do the same thing.
And I would say, to your point, working on the business, they have to be willing to be consistent in order to have success. It's no different. I like to equate the experiences of an entrepreneur than sort of the industry or being a professional working for someone else, right? We invest in our education. We continue to learn because every job, every role requires a different version of you. And it's the same thing for the business. They have to always make sure, particularly when it comes to COVID, my advice has been that they talk to their customer. Consumer behavior has changed significantly. And so your customer should always be the center of every decision that you're making. I've talked to entrepreneurs and say, sort of put your ego out the way. Your business is about providing a product or service for a customer. And so you have to hear your customer, listen to your customer in order to make sure that you're providing what somebody wants to buy. That's business. And so the one thing we can continue to underscore is people have got to take the steps. They've got to ask for help. There's got to be consistency. Consistency in sort of product. When it comes to food businesses, you can't cut back on sort of the ingredients and what causes people to like your product and quality. Ask for help when it's time to go and ask for capital. There are several Detroit Development Fund and Fifth Third and the Kiva loan. There are several entities in our entrepreneurial system that can support around capital. People just have to be willing to do the work and ask for help. And I know Build Institute, we're here for that. You talked about Tech Town. Tech Town is here for that. Prosper Us, Detroit Development Fund, Fifth Third, a variety of organizations are here to support you. And you can reach us at www.buildinstitute.org. And I see our friend Marcus Lee has joined us again. And so one closing comment for you, Jennifer.
I just want to say thank you so much. This has been amazing, being able to chat and share my story. Never being above learning. Mark, thank you so much. Regina, everybody listening. Deborah, everything that she said just touched me so much. I really just, agree with everything that she said overall. And thank you guys. And all things marketplace, shipping and fulfillment, super important. And thank you guys again. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys and working with you guys in the future.
Well, and I want to thank you both, Regina and Campbell. Let me just say very briefly about Regina and Campbell. Her commitment to Detroit and her commitment to this workshop. I reached out to her and I said, I've known her for several years at another organization. She was with Tech Town and other places, but she's always been with me every step of the way. And I called her when she came back from Memphis. I said, Regina and Ms. Campbell, we have this workshop and it would be a great opportunity for you to share your story. And without hesitation, I can honestly say this, within 10 minutes on the conversation, she says, we're in. And this is why I want her here today, because you hear the passion, you hear what Jennifer's doing. I'm humbled and I'm touched. It's people like Regina who've come back home. Jennifer came back home. I came back home. I've lived in 8 different cities across the country. 8 different cities across the country. But every city that I lived in, they made sure that I knew I was from the Motor City because this is my home. But you see Regina and Campbell and Jennifer Crawford. What I'm saying before we segue briefly is this. This is a leader in this city who's come back to make a difference. And Build Institute is here for you. Reach out to them. Tamika, drop on the chat room, the website, go out and reach out to her directly, her team directly, and they will take care of you. Regina and Campbell and Jennifer. Jennifer, I know you're gonna hang around and come back a little bit later for Q&A as well. We appreciate you both. Thank you very much.
Right,
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Again, drop the questions in the Q&A. We're gonna have a Q&A a little bit later. We're gonna continue the conversation, focus on entrepreneurship. We're talking to business owners today, and it's important that we have this discussion. And I'm really pleased to welcome 2 more people making a difference in Detroit. We have a fireside chat with 2 entrepreneurs. I'd like to introduce Miss Kathy Coach, and she's the founder, CEO, and president of K-Tech Systems, which is a manufacturer, distributor, and integrator of advanced control systems and temperature sensors. And for over 30 years, they have been a reliable source to the automotive, aerospace, food, and chemical industries. I'd also like to welcome Ms. Marissa Garcia, and she's the owner of Tijuana's Kitchen, and she began catering out of her Westland home back in the late 80s. And she was born and raised in a great part of the city of Detroit, Southwest Detroit, and she served her homemade and delicious Tex-Mex cuisine to her community. And I'm getting hungry reading this. Marissa, you're making me hungry, but I'll take it. And she has established an established business now and opened the doors of her first Tijuana on Ford Road. And today, she is now a successful restaurant, catering business, a salsa company, and food truck. And she has been recognized for her salsas, or Tijuana's has been recognized for her salsas and dishes for over 30 years. So we're gonna have a fireside chat. So I'd like to welcome both Kathy and Marissa. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you both. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So what we're going to do, and we purposely wanted to have a diversified, represent all industries. You know, we heard Jennifer's story and Kathy's manufacturing, Marissa's, and the restaurant industry, if you will. Just kind of a casual conversation. I'm going to ask you both a very simple question. How has the pandemic over the last 13 months impacted your business? How has the pandemic impacted your business over the last 13 months? Kathy, we'll start with you.
Well, I'm a manufacturer here in Ferndale, and what we make is temperature sensors and pressure and flow. So our customers are predominantly right now the automotive industry, being from Detroit, right? So, you know, when they shut down, we had to shut down. We couldn't ship anything out. And by the way, I was a distributor for 32 years and just started the manufacturing process 2 years ago. So I was kind of like a new old startup business, so all at once. And we were starting to get a good start, and then all of a sudden, boom, shut down. So I lost all of my team members, basically, in the manufacturing side of it. They didn't want to come back to work. I didn't know what I was going to do. The bank was, I was out of compliance on my loan. So of course the bank was, you know, because I wasn't shipping anything out the door. The bank was calling my loan. I didn't know what I was going to do. So that's how it affected me. Do you want to know what I did yet, or should I stop there?
Yeah, no, we're going to come back to that, but I do want to get you. We'll come back out to go forward. But in terms of, for example, the number of employees, I mean, you're a manufacturer. How did it impact your employee base in terms of the number of people you may have employed versus where you were, you know, as the 13 months evolved as well?
I had 12 manufacturing employees, technicians, and went from 12 to 0.
Yeah. Marissa, let me segue over to you. Same question. How has the pandemic impacted your business over the last 13 months? Let's just have an open and frank conversation about that.
The business, the pandemic affected us. I lost one of my locations. Did try to hang on to it, but it was 85% dine-in, 15% carry-out. So with Ford, Detroit location was with Ford and AAA and the colleges. So basically I lost 85% of my business. I did try to stay afloat, but I had to reevaluate everything. And if I didn't lose this business, I would have took the whole ship down. And I did also lose I had probably 35 employees altogether, and we're down to 13. But with all that being said, the pandemic has also taught us to rethink our business plan. So, but it with the power of prayer and just focusing, one of the things is focusing opposed to the problem, let's focus on a solution.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that's a great, that's a great mindset, focusing on the solution. I talk about that each and every single week. I don't like to focus on problems. It's easy to sit there and complain constantly, but you got to figure out how you're going to solve those problems, become a problem solver. And with the pandemic, it's so easy to sit back and just complain and say, woe be me. And you can say, woe be me, but then you're going to be out of business. So that takes me back to the next question, which is, and I appreciate both of your honesty. Thank you so much. Kathy, how has your business model adjusted? How have you adjusted your business model over the last 13 months? I mean, you went from X number of employees to Y number of employees. So talk to those viewing later and those viewing right now. How has your business model changed over the last 13 months? How have you adjusted it?
Well, first, the first thing I did was I thought about everything, about, do I get into something new? Do I just pivot but I had customers, and I had a business, and I had a product, and I just thought, how do I sell that? So what I did is I went into another company that was kind of, down a little bit in the state of Washington. I purchased that company, the employees with many talents. They were in a different state. They had different customers, which was medical. So I landed the COVID vaccine, part of the shipment for the COVID vaccine, to be able to build those temperature sensors for the COVID vaccine. So that was a big pivot for me. I went from automotive to medical. I'm still now back in the automotive.
Right.
Everything had to change. The way we market, the way we sell. I'm hands-on, so we solve problems. We have to be in the automotive facilities, seeing what's happening, so we can help design a new solution. And now I couldn't even get in the door. So it's a lot of what we're doing today.
And Kathy, as a result of that evolution, do you find that you're in a better position, in a stronger position today, whatever today's day is? What's today's day? I lost track. May 26th, compared to maybe March of last year. So my question is, business-wise, are you better prepared? Are you stronger versus when the pandemic first hit?
I have been through so much after 32 years in business, and many downturns with the automotive industry. So we can relate to that. But I feel that this is one that knocked me down. It knocked me down so far that I thought I didn't have the strength to be picked up. But, I just kept moving forward. And what I gained from it was, yes, a better position. I have a new facility with new team that I haven't even stepped foot into. To be able to do that virtually and be more successful and focus on the quality, like you heard today, and just one thing at a time, it just helped me really regain my confidence that one more thing isn't going to put me out. I'm just going to keep moving forward. So yes, I think that the new platforms, I think social media, we always believed in, that, but now selling via LinkedIn and other platforms is the way to go, because we're trying to reach people at home. So it really positioned us better to grow. I have a different business and a different motto now of I can grow in many different states and many different industries, because now people will know who we are by building a different brand.
If you have any questions, please drop them in the Q&A. We're going to have time for questions a little bit later. And then a little bit later, you have a chance of winning a TV as well from Comcast Business. Marissa, coming back over to you again, how has your business model changed? You alluded to it in your opening comments, but talk about your business model. How has it evolved over the last 13, 14, 15 months? And same question as I asked Kathy, do you feel as though your business is stronger now than when the pandemic first hit? And if so, in what respects?
Like Kathy said, doing this for 30 years, we've been up and down in the business, but I will tell you, this was probably one of the most scariest experiences of my life.
Sure.
Along probably with everybody in this whole country and world that's experiencing this. But with all that being said, we did change our model. I started the taco truck, which allowed us to serve individual meals opposed to coming into the restaurant because our dining was closed.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought I would do that, but we added a lot of online platforms, DoorDash, delivering, help grow the catering since we were to do individual meals like catering. So we had to change a lot of the way we did business. I've turned my Lincoln Park location into a commissary kitchen, which allows me to do more larger caterings and just for us in the sense of not putting all your eggs in one basket, because that's what it was. And it did help us change some of the concept of way of doing business. And yes, I do believe in spite of everything we've gone, I'm now doing things regards to the business that I didn't do. I never thought I'd be a commissary kitchen. Wasn't something I was looking to do. So now we're looking to do a plan of having food instead of just having hot meals where people could just buy packaged meals for their family. Because I still do believe a lot of people are still concerned about going out public and they still want to have these meals, but opposed to having, financially everybody's also affected. So price meals were like a family pack where they can come and get it cold and take it home and reheat it. So to do all those changes, it has changed the way of doing business. It has set us back a little bit in our the way we thought we'd be 5 years from now. But again, it's an opportunity to change with everybody else, the way of a lot of the things that we notice is the younger people are more about going and fast food and convenience. So that has helped me, being old school, that has helped me quite a bit to learn that, because the business is second generation with my children. So, and they like to do it. And I will tell you, they have helped me to be more open-minded on change. Again, like I said, the online, I'm not very familiar with that stuff, but it's things that in order for us to continue to grow, the change is to go to second generation, and they have a lot of input, even with the dishes, taking our old traditional recipes and change them into something new, like, the bowls and, different things. And we have to be with very regards to the, vegetarians and the gluten-free, and that has really helped me with the second generation. So, again, it has affected us, but yes, I do see it a great way to change how to do business and be better at what we do and be more accommodating to our customers.
Yeah. And we've heard back in the very first session, Jeff Korzenek, who's the chief investment strategist for Fifth Third Bank, talked about the expectations for the back half of this year economically, the economic recovery going into 2022. And he did a nice job of laying it out. And then just the other day, I was watching news, I was reading maybe the Free Press, whatever it was. There's an interesting statistic that says as of today, we're about 90% economically, the economy is back at 90% of where we were pre-pandemic, which surprised me because I thought we'd be a lot less, like at 80% or 70%. So in other words, we're 90% back in terms of the economic. From a business standpoint, Kathy, are you starting to notice the vaccinations rolling out? We saw this past Monday, the state is beginning to reopen. We know it's going to happen June 1st, July 1st. The restrictions are being lifted. Are you beginning to notice that economic recovery for your business?
What I'm noticing is old customers are coming back. And that was really great. And I don't know if it's because a lot of suppliers, did, change too. prices increased, so people are now reaching out and trying to find new ways to buy things again or coming back. I do definitely see a big turn, yes, and I think the orders aren't. Budgets are still being stopped a little bit or cut back. So I think the orders are smaller than they were. People are really being cautious about spending. I know we are. One thing I think the pandemic did for us, it really made us look at our overhead. It
Yeah.
really made us go and just dig deep and cut cost everywhere we can to stay in business. So it kind of was a good thing. I really learned a lot about my business. Jennifer, you're not alone. I'm a marketing person. I wasn't a financial person. And what I learned from this after 32 years of business was amazing. I feel a lot stronger learning about my finances now and digging, and having more control over that. I thought that's a positive thing, and that's how I'm going to look at it. All this
Well, I just chime in for a second. I know I'm facilitating, but you're spot on. I reduced my expenses by 30%. It gave me a chance. You kind of get to that comfort zone, right? Business is going fine, and Detroit was rocking and rolling before the pandemic. But then when we got hit, I went back and reviewed all my expenses. I was able to cut, and it strengthened my bottom line, it strengthened my financial statements. And a lot of people, if you haven't done that, that's one of the things we talk about. Something you want to think about is going back and reviewing your expenses. And Marissa, from your perspective as well, what about you? Are you starting to notice a recovery? Albeit it's early right now, still the end of May, but are you starting to notice a comeback in terms of your business?
Oh, absolutely. I see people are looking to, since businesses are open again, we're allowed to do the catering. And so now we're back to from 0 catering to probably 3 to 4 caterers before we even open our doors. There are companies that pick up. And the one thing is, when you say catering, everybody looks like the buffet style. So we do individual wrapped meals, label them, and make sure that it helps everybody to feel safe without somebody else hovering over your food. But what I have noticed in the last couple of weeks also, because everything's opening, our graduation caterings have quite a bit picked up. I mean, we've booked quite a few, jobs, and which we lost all last year. We lost quite a bit. But I will go one thing about the bottom dollar. It did open up to our eyes on, of how to kind of tighten our belt a little bit, regards to, getting rid of debt we don't need, just different things. So what we do now every day is, when we do the numbers, we have the percentage of our payroll and the percentage of what would cost for that day.
Yeah.
And what's made it a little bit difficult, opposed to having a large company delivering to us, and you have a $500 budget for the day to buy food, what we do is take that 500, instead of buying a case of cups that hold 1,000, we'll take that same budget and try to buy cups, tops, lids, in order to spread that money until, to get us through that hump for each week. It's still a struggle. It is hard to find employees. A lot of them don't want to come back. But the one good thing is that we're there 12 to 13 hours a day, but we're grateful that we still have a business to go to. We have been blessed in that sense. But to keep it, one thing that will not change from this is that we will keep an eye on the bottom dollar. The bottom line all the time, and it does help, because I'm sure this too will pass and we'll have other things, but it will prepare us better for if anything else, comes along that is very as hard as this has been for, I'm sure, all businesses.
Sure. But we're going to be wrapping up and starting Q&A in a second. One thing I do want to say, you said about the employees coming back, just a little self reference here. If you missed me, I had the opportunity of being on Let It Rip on Sunday morning. Go back and you can put on Fox 2 News, and we talk about that very topic. I'm not going to give my perspective here. Go back and watch the tape of I was on Let It Rip on Sunday morning, this past Sunday, and we talked about that very issue of what's confronting businesses coming out of the pandemic. I would encourage you to go back and check it out. Last question is both of you, very briefly. They're going to welcome back Jennifer and Regina Ann Campbell as well. I think I have a question for her as well. Briefly, how are you feeling about the economy? Been asking this of all of our guests. Are you bullish? Are you not bullish? Are you neutral? Are you concerned going for the balance of this year? the balance of this year. Kathy, how do you feel about the economy for your business? Are you bullish on the economy or are you not?
I'm seeing a pickup, but I really hope the banks work with us because it's been hard. That's capital. It's just been the struggle. And, I get it. I understand it. But, we can't do it without it. And thank God for all the PPP loans and everything that came through. I mean, I don't know what we would have done without it. So I see us moving forward. We can't go back further down. My feet are going forward, and I hope to pick them up fast at a big pace.
Very good. Marissa, how about you?
I also see it going forward. It's a little slow process, but I do see it getting better every day. And I think as long as we stay focused and continue to watch our dollars and everything, I think we'll come through this also.
Outstanding. Thank you both. I'd like to welcome back for a Q&A. We're going to start a Q&A right now before we turn over to Comcast for the TV giveaway. Jennifer Crawford, if you could, there you go, and Regina and Campbell. There's a question here, and Regina, I think this might be more so for you. If I can find it, they put it in the chat room. The question was about, if I can recall it, I can't see it right now in front of me, about business pitches. Are there programs available that can help entrepreneurs continue to fine tune their business pitch? If so, kind of talk briefly about that. And Jennifer, what have you done to certainly finalize or fine tune your business pitch? Regina?
Yes, so there are programs that support people with pitches, whether it's a one-to-one or one-to-many. If I put in the Q&A, if you reach out to hellobuild@institute.org, I can connect you to someone who can help you a one-to-one with pitches. I also recommend you go on the Biz Grid and see where there might be particular classes that may be a one-to-many on helping with pitches. I also have some resources that I could share for pitching. So if you reach out to Build, I'll send them your way.
Jennifer, how did you fine tune your business pitch?
I actually took a class with Inforum. I've taken a class with Inforum because when they were talking about that elevator pitch, I'm like, Jennifer, you can't be the expert if you don't know your own pitch. So just goes back to that making sure you keep educating yourself. So I took a class at Inforum with that. And I would actually take another class for that. And I'm actually working on something to help small businesses with their pitch in a sense too. And so we're gonna be doing some of those things in the future.
Okay. Question as it relates to copyrights. Where do I start in terms of getting more information about getting a copyright? What does it entail? Any suggestions? Whoever on the panel would like to take a crack at answering the question specifically about copyrights.
So
there is,
go ahead,
Regina.
No, I was just going to say quickly, I know Wayne State University and University of Michigan both have clinics that support entrepreneurship. So if you go on their website to their law schools, you will see that there are particular attorneys that can help advise in that. Also, SCORE Detroit is the best chapter ever. They can also advise and direct you as well. So
yeah. Questions are rolling in. Kathy, this is to you. What inspired you to buy a business in Washington State and change industries?
Well, I didn't change industries. They manufacture, it was the same team. They manufactured what we do, temperature sensors. And I just picked up amazing talent that had over 20 years experience, a whole different culture out there, a culture of people, culture of businesses. So it just allowed me to get into a different industry other than just automotive. They're aerospace, medical out there. So it was the best decision I ever made, even having zero money. So Jennifer, you talk about guts and moving forward as an entrepreneur. You have to do it. It's not like not the same as going to a casino and throwing money in. If you have a vision and you have a plan and you have a customer, you will succeed. Just do it.
Yeah. There's a question I'm going to for Marissa and Kathy and Jennifer. What has kept you? What's inspired you during this pandemic, and how have you kept grounded during these challenging times? Marissa, let me start with you.
Inspired me is well, first of all, the Lord has kept me. That's my faith has probably been one of the most important things for me. But I just working so many years refused to fail. Starting to, out of a home and going through all the ups and downs. There is no, it's just, you have to reinvent yourself and just concentrate on those goals, but they might change, but just make new ones and just keep fighting forward and, and accomplish, just some of them became baby steps again. But for me, was just to, failure was not going to happen. You would just have to reinvent yourself and just continue to go forward.
So failure was not an option. And,
absolutely
not.
Not.
Relying on your faith to get you through these challenging times. Kathy, how about you?
I'm connected to, Great Lakes Women's Small Business because I'm a woman-owned business, and I reached out to like Felicia Howers or some of these other women that I knew that just pulled me up and just said, I'm going to use the words. They said, get your big panties up, girl. Keep going. They like slap me in the face. They would say, you're not giving up. You're going forward. You do it. We're all in this. And that's what kept me going because I felt like, I love what I heard today from all of you because there is a reason I'm in business. Mm-hmm. And I love helping employees and helping my people. And I felt, like I got slapped in the face when they didn't want to come back, but moving forward. And I know I'm not going to let this get me down as we all feel. And it does work. You just got to believe in that part of it. Yeah. Get around people, be around people.
So the power of networking, and we heard Regina and Jennifer talk about building relationships and having those relationships as well. Jennifer, I'll ask you that same question. What has kept you grounded during these challenging times?
I think for me, I had to take a step back, right? Take a step back to see how far that I've come, because I started to feel when the pandemic hit, like, oh my God, what am I going to do? It's this and that. So I had to take a step back and look at myself. And honestly, what I did is that I worked on myself, and then I am surrounded by Regina, who's just been amazing during this time. My significant other, just people motivate me. And then I also had one business owner tell me that you cannot quit because you changed my life. And for someone to say that to me, that I changed their life in a positive way, I just took a step back, and I was like, oh no, you got to keep pushing, moving forward, because this is who you are. So just being surrounded by those great people, motivators, where they can tell you where you need to relax or you need to push through, the honesty of this great group of people who I'm around, just like you, Kathy, keeps me moving forward.
That's outstanding. Well, what I want to do at this point is I want to thank Marissa Garcia, Kathy Coach, Jennifer Crawford, Regina Ann Campbell for joining us. Thank you all for your words. I cannot say it better myself. You are all a gem. Thank you very much for joining us, and we appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure. So now what we're going to do is you have an opportunity to win a smart television from Comcast Business. And I'd like to introduce Ms. Allie Barron, and she's going to announce the giveaway, how it's going to take place. After she does that, I'll come back with some closing comments before we wrap up. So here we go. And unfortunately, I can't win, but that's okay. Allie Barron, it's all yours. And thank you for Comcast support. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. My name is Allie Barron. I am on the marketing team with Comcast Business. We have been humbled and honored to be a sponsor and partner of this small business workshop over the years, and we feel completely inspired by all of the featured speakers today and over the last month. We are a small business advocate and here for all of your business technology needs to help your business survive and thrive. So without further ado, I'll be bringing up our prize wheel to raffle off a 43-inch smart TV. All right, hopefully you can see the prize wheel. All right, let me know when you can see it.
Yes, we can see it.
All righty, awesome. So we have all the attendees that are here with us today that are eligible to win. So we're gonna spin the wheel once, and whoever we land on will be our lucky winner today. And we'll follow up with you after to get your shipping information. So here we go, feel lucky. And our winner is Yvette Jenkins.
Congratulations, Yvette.
Congratulations, Yvette. Well, thank you on behalf of Comcast Business. Once again, we're proud to be a sponsor, and thank you so much. And congratulations again, Yvette. So I'll turn it back over to you, Mark.
Allie, thank you very much to you and your team. And Yvette says, oh my God, thank you. This is why I love doing this. You know, I have goosebumps right now, even from just something like that. And we know that, you know, Comcast Business has been with us, and all the other partners. They are a phenomenal organization. I've known that team over there for years now. If you have any business needs from a business standpoint, reach out to them. Allie, before I let you go, what is the website for Comcast Business?
You know what, I'll put in my email, just because sometimes if you go to the website, you'll get directed to someone out there that you might not know. And we're here locally in the Metro Detroit area, and we're all over Michigan too. So I'll put my email in. And so if you want to contact me directly, I'll put you in contact with a local representative, because again, we are here locally and here to help you and serve you. Put my email.
Thank you. Drop it in the chat room, and we'll be good. Thank you very much. All right, well, now we come to the end. I'll just give you a couple closing comments as we wrap up. First of all, as we do this, let me just say that I'm truly humbled by doing this workshop. You know, the one question I get asked a lot is, well, Mark, how did you come up with re-emerging from the abyss? Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And I lucked out on that. I had no idea. And I work with all my partners and sponsors when I come up with themes every year, with this being our 7th year. I had no idea. I literally woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. If you know me, I'm constantly working. I'm always working, but I'm always accessible. I was with my friends last night from Fifth Third Bank, and we got into great conversations. Yes, at nighttime, we were having great conversations. Thank you, Mark Baker and his team. But, you know, I came up with the theme at 3 o'clock in the morning. And like everyone else, I was in the abyss. I was grappling. I was struggling from a business standpoint. And so somehow I came up with the phrase re-emerging from the abyss. And as this series started back in May, it's been so apropos, hasn't it? We have been in the depths, and we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. We're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, many of you know me from, you know, the Lee Group, which is great. Many of you know me from my all my media contributions. You know, you can listen to me on radio. You can read about, I write stories for Crane's Detroit Business. I contribute to the Detroit Free Press, Detroit News, all the TV stations here in town. But I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm one of you. I'm just like you. I'm a Detroiter. I was born and raised in this city. This is my home. And when I started this workshop 7 years ago, I did it because if you remember, somebody asked me last night when I was with Fifth Third, how did you come up with it? I said, we were coming out of, guess what? Economic depression in this city, the bankruptcy. And it was my way of giving back to entrepreneurship to say, hey, we're going to give you the tools to hopefully be successful as our city, as this region, as our state emerges from the abyss 7 years ago. And that is building for the future, giving you the tools to be successful coming out of bankruptcy. Here we are in 2021. We're coming out of the abyss. I hope and pray that this workshop has given you the tools that you need to be successful. And I want you to take away, I hope, you know, we have some great speakers from Jeff Korzenik to Kula Gibson, to Dr. William Picard, to Regina Ann Campbell, to Marissa Garcia, to Kathy Coach, to Deborah Jones. I'm sure I'm missing someone. I apologize for that. Jason Paul is here, Mark Baker, the list goes on. I'm overwhelmed right now with this. But the thing I want you all to know is please take time, pull the lens back, look at your bigger picture for your business. Look at the bigger picture for your business. Don't be afraid to adapt. This workshop, we adapted. Up until 2 years ago, up until last year, this was a face-to-face. The last 2 years, we've gone virtual. We don't know what the plans are for next year, whether it's going to be virtual or whether or not it's going to be back, you know, face-to-face. We'll see. We'll work all that through. But I want to say as we wrap up, this is truly a collaboration. This has been a collaboration with you. And on behalf of the lead group, I want to thank you all for your participation. I really want to thank RSVP Premier, Tamika Brown and Sharon Wilson have done a phenomenal job in helping to facilitate and managing this particular event. So on behalf of the lead group and all of our sponsors and our partners, thank you all very much. This session has been recorded. It will be available this afternoon, again, at Detroit Public Television. The website will also be housed on the lead group's website, leadgroupinnovation.com. With all that said and done, have a wonderful Memorial Day. Stay safe, do the right thing. I wish you all continued success in getting your businesses back, growing your business, and ultimately being in business. Thank you, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon.